Hi guys, come with me to make this lobster out of pony beads. You're going to need about 125, 130 beads. That's 38 for the body, 28 for the tail, 40 for the arms, 18 for the claws, and 2 for the eyes. A small keychain ring like this one, 4 yards of 2mm string. Put your keychain piece down onto your middle, and then we're going to load on our beads according to our rows, starting with 1 bead for the nose here. So put 1 bead on 1 string, and then weave the other string through in the opposite direction. What I mean by other string is you have 2 working ends here as your keychain piece is in the middle. Grab onto that bead and wiggle it all the way down to the other end where your keychain piece is waiting. If it gets a little twisted, just untwist it, figure it out, center it, it'll be fine. This is your 1 bead with both ends woven through in the center with just about equal strings all the way down. Now we're going to start on the next row. 2 beads, line them up, put them on, and then we're going to put the other string through in the opposite direction. Grab onto those ends and pull them down snug. This is the same speed video as yesterday. I apologize. I did not realize my kids were going crazy in the background and it wasn't muted, so I decided to redo the audio over. I made a few mistakes anyways, so this one will help me fix them. And our next 3 beads are going onto 1 string, and the next string is following it on through. So we put 3 beads onto 1 string and then use the opposite end to chase it through in the other direction, and then pull it down to the center, way down all your string. Make sure it is nice and correctly placed. Push it flat. And the next row will be our eyebrow. So it's going to be a red, a black, a red, a black, a red. So 5 beads total on 1 string. Doesn't matter which working end you use, either end will do the same thing. Anytime we're working with the body, we're always working with both strings. Anytime we're working with a limb, we're using 1 string. So take that other end of the other string, weave it on through. Sometimes you can get the whole row to go. Sometimes you got to wiggle 1 bead at a time. That's okay. Right after this eye row, we're going to work on our first claw. The claw is 9 beads on your string at the same time. So 1 string, 9 beads. Skip the first 5. What I mean by that is push them right out of your way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of the way. Go into that 4th bead. Push that up. Skip the 3rd one, out of the way. And then go into those last 2, right into there. Going back towards your lobster. Then you're going to hold the end of the string and your last set of the beads and wiggle it till it's all the way down where your claw needs to be. Once it gets there, you can wiggle it even a bit tighter. That's what's going to give you your little bend to make your claw. I know my words are kind of like right where you need to be seeing this, but just firm, equal pressure, tension without being too much, if that makes sense. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. 9 beads on the opposite string. If you choose not to do the little bendy piece, then your claws will look like the arms with the little claw piece on the end. You could just go back through all 4 instead of skipping the 1 bead. You'll see how we do the arms in a minute. So again, we're going to skip 5. We're going to go under that 4th one. Skip the 3rd one. And then go back under those last 2 using the same string and moving back towards the lobster. And then just pull it all the way back. Okay, now we're going to have a row of 5 for the body, which again, when you're working with the body, you're using both strings. So we'll load 5 beads onto either of our strings. And then we're going to take the other end once we have our 5 beads. Sorry, I dropped one. And we're going to weave our string back through the other end. so that we're pulling both ends of both strings up snug. So from here on out, it'll be body, legs, body, legs, body, legs until we get to the bottom of the tail. So if you already know how to do these movements, feel free to make a screenshot and just go ahead and work it out on your own. Or if you need to see it, hang out with me here and I will talk you through it. So I'm going to pull that snug and lay it flat. And then we're going to start on our first arm. So the arms are these little wiggly pieces here. We're going to put 5 beads on our string at the same time, working with just one string. I'm using kind of the opposite colors as my example. I'm sorry if that's confusing. So 5 beads on the same string, skip 1, and using the same string, go back through the other 4, straight back towards your lobster. Grab the string and grab the last bead and pull it all the way back to where it needs to be. Nice and snug, but not too tight. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Load 5 beads. Skip the last bead and go back through the other 4. Pull on to the last bead and onto the string. Oops, sorry, I dropped a couple. Pay attention to the ends. Sometimes if you're too worried about getting it through, you push it off the other side. Okay, pull it all the way down where it needs to be. And then our next body row is going to be 6 beads with both strings. So choose any one of them and put 6 beads onto it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to take the other end of the other string and put that through in the opposite direction. Make sure you have 6. I was missing one. Okay, so after those 6, you're going to do 2 more arms. That is pulled down to the middle. It's okay if sometimes you get a little flipped or tangled. Just gently unroll it and put it the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes you can tape or pin your project down. It's easier for me just to keep them mobile. So another leg, 5 beads at the same time, using just one string. Skip the last bead and go back through the other 4 beads. Grab onto the end and pull it all the way down till it's nice and snug. And then hop over to the other side and grab the other string and do the same thing. 5 beads. Use the same string, skip the last bead, and go back into the other 4. I'm sorry that not all of these are on camera, or some of them may be behind the words, but the movement for every single leg is the same. It's using the same string, it's going into the last 4, but skipping that first one. Okay, so now we have another body row. It's another row of 6. So load 6 beads onto either of your 2 strings. And then take your other string on the other side and pass it through. Grab both ends and wiggle it on down. Okay. Now we're going to do another arm. 5 beads again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip that last one and use the same string to go back under the other 4. This bead is actually broken, so I'm going to have to take these two off, remove that one, and replace it. Sometimes they aren't cut exactly the right way or molded the exactly right way, so. Okay, now we have our 5. Skip that last one and go back into the other 4. Pull it all the way down. And then grab your other string and make one on the other side. Technically, I guess if you tied it off here or finished it with like maybe a shorter row of 4 or 5, it could be a little crab. Maybe without the point on the nose, but for now we're making a lobster, so let's focus on that. So I got 5 beads on, I skipped the last one, and I'm going back through the other 4 with the same string from the opposite side. Then we will have a row of 5 for the body. I think I had 6 there, and that's where I changed it to the 5 that it was supposed to be. And at some point in the last video, I messed up the voiceover, so I'm just trying to see what row I am actually on at the moment. Okay, it was 5. Yes, 5 beads. Woohoo! We figured it out. I know I had 6 on there, but I can clearly see on the other example that there's 5. All right, here we go. Now we have 2 arms left. 5 beads on. Skip that last one and go back into the last 4. This is our last arm for the left side. We are almost there. It's going to go a little bit quicker now that we don't have to work with all these little arms. Okay, last one on the other side. 5 beads on the same string. Now there's a train. Gosh, cars, chars, planes, birds, cars, chars. Okay, focus on the beads, not the background. Sorry. 5 beads. Same string. Skipping the last one, going back through the other 4, pulling it tight. That is our last arm. Okay, now we have 4 beads left for the last part of the body. 4 beads on the same string. If you want to alternate here, this is where you can choose to do rows. I didn't have any of the regular red left, so I'm just going to use the clear red for the remainder of my lobster. Okay, 4 for the bottom of the body using both strings. And then we have 3 beads on either of our strings. Take the other string and go on through the opposite way. Pull those down to the center. Then we have a row of 4. This is kind of like the bigger bulge before the smaller part of the tail before it expands again. Put the other string through in the opposite direction. Then we bring it back down for a row of 3. 3 beads on one string. Pass the other string through. Then we're going to do a row of 5. These are going to kind of want to start curling up on you, and you're going to want them to do that. Like once you pull this one down, because it's a bigger row than that, you're going to want it to curl upwards instead of downwards, if that makes sense. Just like that. Next row is a row of 7 and then a row of 9. I believe I missed the row of 7 in filming, so it's already on there, but it's the same process. Put them all on one string, weave the other string through, and then this is our last row, our row of 9. Once you get those done, I will show you how to tie the knots on the side. And then our last row is the, oh, sorry, that was the last row. I must have lost count. For this okay, so we're going to tie a knot on the end of each one. I tie a knot using each string at the side near the bead itself. I think I might have skipped a row. Try to get either way, whether you do the left version or the right version, it's supposed to be 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 9, and I think I missed a row in my filming, or I missed a row on my lobster. I guess we're going to see when we lay it down next to each other if it's one row shorter. I think it was just filming, but thank you for watching. I hope that this helps. Sorry I kind of dropped the ball there on that last row. Literally. It's been a day, a week, but I appreciate all you being here. Thanks so much. And be sure to share pictures in the comments if you make these yourself.